Hello, you're listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the podcast that focuses on helping you create space to attract more money, love, and happiness in your life. I am your host, Janet M. Taylor, and I want to say hello if you're a regular listener, and welcome if you're listening for the very first time. I hope you are having a great week, and if you enjoy listening to this podcast, please leave a review so I can continue bringing you episodes each and every week. And I want to just take a moment before I get started on sharing with you what this episode is about to say thank you so much, because I recently received an email from Good Pies and it says, Got Clutter, Get Organized with Janet has made the following top listener chart on Good Pies. We are number 1 in the top 100 indie home and garden chart, and we're number 2 in the top 100 home and garden chart. So I want to thank each and every one of you for listening, for sharing, and for commenting. I truly appreciate you. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing some of the things that have been shared with me in regards to reasons why and excuses on why people can't get organized. And then I'm going to be sharing with you my response to those excuses, and basically just so you can declare your independence over your clutter and disorganization in your life. I will also be sharing my product, ad, repurpose, and book suggestion for this week. And I would love for you to share with me one item that you have not used in at least 5 years that you need to let go of, because we all have stuff in our house. Even I have things in my house that I have not used in 5 years and I need to let go of. So these are some of the excuses that sometimes I hear from people who, and this is their reason for not getting organized. I don't know how. I don't have the time. I don't know where to start. I have invested too much in this and I can't let go. It will take forever. It belongs to, and you can fill in the blank, and I'm not ready to let it go. I will be able to use it again and it will come back in style. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to be going through those and just kind of sharing with you how I respond to some of those excuses. But for those of you who may be listening to this for the very first time, in 1994, I took my natural ability and started Totally Organized LLC. I have been a government contractor, and my celebrity clients include Les Brown and Dyana Williams. For 3 consecutive years, my company, Totally Organized LLC, was recognized as one of the top minority firms by the Philadelphia Business Journal. Most recently, I have been a corporate trainer conducting webinars for Fortune 500 firms, and in 2021, I conducted over 100 webinars with some surpassing 500 attendees. And in 2018, I appeared on the Rachael Ray Show, where I was crowned the Clutter Free Queen. I also appeared on HGTV'S Mission Organization, and I have been a featured speaker for IKEA as well as the Philadelphia Home Show. But most of you know me as the host and producer of this weekly podcast, Got Clutter, Get Organized. And thanks to all of you listening in 2021, the podcast was ranked number 1, as we are again, for the Indie Home and Garden Shop. And of course, I also serve on the advisory board of the business division at Pierce College, which is my alma mater. So let's take each one of those excuses one by one, and I'm just going to share with you how you can overcome those excuses. So the first one is, I don't know how. And you can always, you can take a class, you can watch a video, you can even ask a friend who is organized. I mean, we all know somebody, a friend who's just very organized, or hire an organizer. And also keep it simple. When you say you don't know how, It's just a matter of getting rid of what is no longer usable, recycling those things that are recyclable, and definitely donating what can be donated, and of course organizing the rest. The second one is I don't have the time. You have to make it a priority. And you can get a lot accomplished by just starting with an hour of just planning. You can sit down and say, I want to organize the garage. The reason I want to organize it is, one, I want to be able to park the car in it, but also I want to have a place for my tools. I want to also have a place for all of my seasonal decor. Maybe you've got a pool. And once you do that, then you decide, okay, what needs to go out? What is trash? What needs to be recycled? What needs to be donated? Once all that is clear, then the next thing you know, you organize the rest. So just if you don't have the time, the first thing you need to do is plan. From there, look at all the things you need to do and you schedule those little tasks. One day it'll be taking the trash out. One day it'll be taking the donations. And schedule an hour or two each week or a few hours a month. You will be amazed what you can accomplish. The next thing is, I don't know where to start. Again, start by planning, create the list for the areas you want to tackle, prioritize what you need to organize first. For example, you may be saying, Janet, I don't know where to start because that's my entire house. I understand that. So let's start in the areas where will make you more functional, more effective, and more efficient in your work and your career, but also at home. And that could be sometimes starting in the bedroom, so that is so nice and organized and it's a sanctuary. So when you are tired, you have a place to relax and regenerate yourself. Or maybe you're saying, you know what, this is a year where all of us as a family, we need to be a little bit more healthier in our food choices. And maybe that kitchen is that area that you need to organize. Or maybe because you've decided to get the finances in order, maybe you've started a home-based business, or maybe you've decided to do something on the side. Maybe getting that home office organized will be your priority. And of course, prioritize what you need to organize first, and then tackle area one, that section at a time. Excuse me. Allergy season. I have invested too much in this and can't let it go. 80% of the stuff we keep, we never reference again. We were 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. The rest just is hanging there. Are there things in your home and specifically in storage that is costing you money? You may have so much stuff that 80% that you are not using. And when, most of us, we define our homes a lot of times by square footage. So if 80% of the stuff you're keeping, you're not using, and you have a very large home full of clutter, and you got rid of some of that stuff, and I'm not even talking about 80%, let's just talk about maybe 50% or even 25%. Would that open up space? Would you be able to see yourself specifically if you want to downsize into a smaller home? But also if you have storage and you're paying each and every month, each and every year for things you are not using, then all of the money that you've invested in this stuff is kind of like really, it's almost devalued. So think about that as well. And also there are so many different ways. If you feel the things that you have are valuable, then what you can do is either, sell it on eBay. There's so many different platforms now in order to sell the stuff so you can feel like you can recoup in your investment. But don't let the fact that you feel is valuable stop you from letting it go. You can still sell it, etc. So think about that as well. On to the next one. It will take forever. It will not take forever when you have a plan in place. And that's it. For example, you may look at that closet and say, it's going to take forever to organize. Not necessarily. Because you can do what a lot of times I do. Is the first thing I do is I actually pull out everything that I need to donate. And then once I pulled it out, I put it in a bag or a box, and then I take it to the location. The next thing is I organize what remains. And I can do that in maybe 2, maybe 3 sessions. I don't overwhelm myself. I don't schedule more time than I, feel that I have the energy for. But it will not take forever. And also, if you just pace yourself and your energy, there may be times when you only have maybe an hour or so worth of energy, and at other times you may have 3 hours worth of energy. So think about that as well. But it will not take forever, because once you get started, your momentum will grow. Number 6, it could belong to somebody else that maybe has passed on, or it could just belong to somebody else who just moved out the house and you're not ready to let go. And you may be holding on to things for somebody who does not have the place, the space, or not ready to let go of something from the past. And, I still remember the day when I was helping a client. We were in the basement getting rid of stuff. There was a metal high chair in the corner. She didn't want to get rid of it because she said she might need it someday, because she was, hoping that one day her daughter would get married and have some children, which would make her a grandmother. And I shared with her the short time that I've been working with you and your husband. I feel that when grandchildren do come along, you're going to want to buy all new stuff. And that high chair is no longer considered safe because it's metal and it's still got food stains. I mean, this young lady, she was at least in her 20s, living in New York. So sometimes we have to kind of take ourselves through a series of questions and ask ourselves, are we really going to use stuff? So think about that. But also on a personal level, it was at least until I was 30 before I got rid of my prom gown. And that was because I was holding on to that memory of the happiness that I experienced while I was in high school, those last months, the prom. And finally, I realized I was going to have happier times in my life, so I was able to let it go. But also, lastly, for the people who, don't have the space and they're taking up your space, but you want your space back. And I remember a woman sharing, her son had moved out and he still had some little items left in the bedroom that he used to occupy. But she wanted to turn that bedroom into a place where she could start doing her crafts. And I told her, I said, give him some deadline. She said, Janet, I've done that. I said, okay, well, let's start the clock over and let him know you would like his stuff out by a certain date. And if by that date it is not out of the room, you physically take the stuff and at least put it by the door. So every time he comes in, he sees it by the door. And then a few weeks after that, he sees it outside the door because she had a garage. I said, you put the stuff in the garage. You let him know you are serious because you want to reclaim that space. And sometimes you just have to give people a deadline. If you don't come by a certain time, I'm going to either donate it, or depending on what it is, sometimes it may be so old it needs to be thrown out. You'll do whatever is necessary. Number 7, I will be able to use it again. My question to you is, will you? Someone I know was holding on to a Windows 98 book. I think it was Windows 90. It was 98 anyway. She said, I can learn something from this. No, you cannot. Technology has gotten so advanced now. So, will you use it again? And if you're saying you will and you're going to get it repaired, how expensive it is, are you going to take the time? There's a lot of different questions you need to ask yourself. And sometimes you just need to say, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get it repaired because it's too expensive. It's not up to date. And even if I did bring it up to date, it's going to cost me more money than to get a new one. And sometimes you really need to just say, will I really use it again? Because again, I'm going to go back to this statistic. 80% of the stuff we keep, we will never use again. And the last one is a good one. It's my favorite. It will come back in style again, Janet. My question is, if it does, will you really want to wear it? mean, there's a lot of things from the past. I mean, I look at some of the pictures of myself in different dresses and different outfits, but there are certain things from the past. I still remember a floral shirt I had with a pointy collar. I'm sure that there are people out there who are wearing that style now, but I'm not wearing it because I've changed and I've transitioned. And also, a lot of times when people are going through different weights, sometimes they gain, sometimes they lose. And I share with people, when you lose weight, you all of a sudden have a really better sense of who you are. You're proud of your accomplishments. Are you going to go back to those clothes? Because you're going to probably want something new. So think about that as well. So I hoped going through some of the excuses, but also some of my responses will help you on your journey to getting organized. So now, because we are in an entirely new month, we're in a new quarter, we're in the last half of 2022, I just want to share with you a few things that you can do to organize specific areas of your life in Taylor's Tip Time. Number one, and this is something I've talked about, and you may have already seen the video, organizing your health information. It is so important. Recently, one of the things that I have been discussing with my doctor is my cholesterol level. And it's nice to hear her say, well, Janet, it's increased, but also I know because I've been keeping track of my health records, I know it's been increasing, so, and I'm going to be proactive because, in a few months, I'm going to be going for my annual. And, she said, I looked at the health, the test results, and, we can sit down and really kind of think of a plan. Well, I've been eating healthy and I've been exercising, so I really don't know what else I can do, but I am looking forward to the conversation with my doctor because, number one, before I go to her, I'm going to say, can you order some test results, some blood tests, so that when I do see you in September, we can look at the latest and really have a discussion. And number two, I am going to bring all the vitamins and the supplements that I actually take to see if maybe, am I doing that correctly? And I'm also going to, for 30 days leading up to, and this is just because I'm organized, but 30 days leading up to my appointment, I'm going to start charting what I'm eating and also my exercising and my walking. And that's because I want to get in front of whatever this is, because I hear people saying, oh, cholesterol, watch your cholesterol, but then when I started reading what cholesterol actually leads to, I don't want to have heart disease, I don't want to have any heart strokes or anything like that. So that's why organizing your health information, update your passwords. Sometimes we have so many different platforms that we are attached to. So just, take a moment to really kind of organize them, but also have a way of accessing them as well. And number three, keep your financial information up to date. Making sure, every month I have a money day. And my money day is basically, I look at and make sure, everything is okay with my current, expenses in regards to, my personal things, so that I can cover my bills. But then also I look at, all the things in related to my business and what's coming in and what's in the future. And then I also look at my retirement and when can I realistically, maybe not retire, but at least making sure I'm on track for that as well. And also just making sure all of that information is organized in some kind of fashion. Number 4 is get your affairs in order. Now, we have some wonderful guests coming up in the podcast. One is going to be talking about, how to have a virtual vault, which I think all of us need. We need a physical vault, but we also need a virtual vault. But also, how to get organized before you die. Because, when someone has a terminal illness and they don't have their affairs in order, that is like the worst time for them to really try to get stuff together, because at that point their mind is not as sound and sharp as it used to be. So get those affairs in order. You get a living will, get a will, make sure you get the power of attorneys. So, but again, we've got some upcoming episodes to talk about getting yourself organized before you die. It's not as bad, but it's just really a preparation. I feel great because I have all my affairs in order. Now I just have to have a conversation, with certain people about things, but it is a peace of mind thing. And the last one on getting organized in your life, making sure you schedule your me time. I love my me time. I love my pampering time, my self-care time, my time I do nothing days, vacation days, days off, mental health days, making sure you do that. So I hope, you'll walk away with just a strategy or a tip or an aha moment in regards to Taylor's tip time and organizing your life. So have you been working on getting organized and feel overwhelmed? I know you can. Are you challenged by managing your time between work, home, and your life? And you may even have a side business. Do you want to organize your life? Let's talk. I can help you really better manage your time in your life. I work with clients to guide them from start to finish by providing them with details needed to clear the clutter, get organized without feeling overwhelmed. Just go to my contact page, schedule a free 15-minute session, take the steps necessary to create the life you want, and start by doing something today. Click the link in the show page. Well, it's a moment. I want to thank you again for following me on social media, for your likes, your retweets, for your sharing. Please continue to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Pinterest, because I've got all type of boards to help you organize your life. And make sure you check out my YouTube channel, because I'm excited about some of the Organize Your Life interviews that I will be sharing with you and posting. And of course, ladies, if you're thinking of getting your life organized, don't get overwhelmed. Join my Facebook group, Living Life Totally Organized. It's a community of women supporting each other on their journey to living a life that's totally organized. It's free to join. So, join us today. We have, I get on there sometimes. I share with how I'm repurposing things. I just give them some insight. But I love, love, love when people post their dilemmas, their challenges on the page. It allows me to just roll up my sleeves and virtually give them some strategies. I love to do that. And also, I love it when people post, Janet, I'm at Goodwill. Janet, I'm at a shredding event. Or, Janet, I decided to, really find a piece for my son's bedroom. I did my little DIY and I didn't spend any money because it was something somebody left on the sidewalk. So I like that kind of stuff. I get excited. So please join us. And it is Toss It Tuesday. So this Toss It Tuesday, I want you to donate one usable item you have not used in at least 5 years. It could be a vase. It could be a decorative piece that somebody could put in their home. It could be clothing. It could be a tricycle that's still usable and your child is like 25 or 26. So something. So just one thing. And post and please post it and tag me in it. I'm Janet the Organizer on Instagram. I'm Janet M. Taylor on Facebook. And of course, I'm Organizer Janet on Twitter. Of course, I've got all those different handles. But, unfortunately, last year, someone hacked my Instagram account, which is why I had to change that name. But I won't go into that right now. So, my app suggestion for this week is Todoist. It will help you organize your work and life and become more focused and organized and calm. And it's the world's #1 task manager and to-do list. So it's Todoist. And of course, you can go to my Pinterest page and apps. I have a board apps that'll help you stay organized, and you can check that out. And of course, my product suggestion is just check out all of the different products on my Amazon shop, I should say, that can help you organize everything from your bathroom, your kitchen, the garden, the garage, different types of storage items, organizing your life, and all the books in the organizing library. Check it out. And repurpose. As you begin to really declare independence from some things, maybe you need to declare independence from the way something used to be. Maybe there used to be a dresser that needs to be transformed into something else. Maybe it was in the bedroom. Maybe it needs to go in the office and help you organize your supplies, your information, etc., like that. So think about, maybe declaring independence as a way of, what you used to be used as. Like one friend, she had a gorgeous vase, and she decided to use it and put her remote controls in it. It looks beautiful on the shelf near the TV. Gorgeous. And my book suggestion for this week is organizing yourself from the inside out. Because sometimes we need to figure out what's really going on. And this is by Julie Morgenstern. So organizing yourself from the inside out is my book selection for this week. And my quote is, organizing is a journey, not a destination. So the journey from your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, it's different from being single to married to children to an empty nester. It's a journey. It's a journey. So always remember that. Well, I definitely want to thank you for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your friends, your family, as well as on your social media network. And again, let me know you enjoy listening to this podcast by leaving a review on whatever platform you're listening it to. And be sure to visit my website at www.janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, have a clutter-free day. But most of all, I want you to have an organized week. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemmas. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you are listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized.